Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain. Think of this as a guided tour to understand the core of how it all works: the place, the people, and the process. So let's dive in. Okay, first things first, let's start with a really simple idea. When I say the word market, what do you picture? Chances are you're thinking of a place with stalls, people walking around, maybe some fresh produce being sold, kind of like a local farmer's market. It's a concept we all just get, and that's exactly where we're going to start. So let's put those two side by side. At a farmer's market, it's super simple. You hand over some cash, you get an apple. It's a direct exchange for a tangible thing. Now, the stock market, it runs on the very same idea, but wow, is it a much more complex ecosystem. The goods here aren't apples, they're financial assets, tiny pieces of ownership in a company. And the whole thing isn't happening face to face. It's all handled by this vast, invisible network of technology. Okay, so if it's not a big open-air bazaar, where does all this trading actually happen? That brings us to the first stop on our tour, the arena. We're heading inside the stock exchange. So what exactly is a stock exchange? Well, put simply, it's the organized and regulated marketplace for all this activity. It's the main venue, and that could be a real physical place with a trading floor like the New York Stock Exchange, or a completely electronic one like the NASDAQ. This is the place where literally trillions of dollars can change hands in a single day. It's the foundational infrastructure that makes the whole system possible. And our tour here is actually following a really solid path. This learning plan from our source material shows that to really get the market, you've got to start with the basics: stock exchanges and market participants. We're building our knowledge from the ground up, which is exactly how you should do it. But an exchange is so much more than just a place to trade. It's like the engine and the rule book all in one. Yeah, it provides the platform, but it also makes sure trading is fair, and it sets and enforces all the rules. And maybe most importantly, it creates what's called liquidity. That's just a fancy way of saying it makes it super easy to buy or sell. You can almost always find someone on the other side of your trade, instantly. Without that, the whole system would just stop. Alright, so we've seen the arena, the exchange itself, but who's actually in there making things happen? It's time to meet the players. In this whole ecosystem, there are really four main groups, and each one has a super important role to play. You've got the investors, the companies, the brokers, and of course, the regulators. Let's get to know each one. First up, the investor. And hey, this could be you, it could be me, or it could be a huge institution like a university or a pension fund. But the goal is always the same: to put money to work, hoping to grow it over time by owning a little piece of a business. They are the ones creating the demand in the market. Then, on the flip side, you've got the companies. We're talking about everyone from those giant tech companies to tiny, brand new startups. They are the supply side of the equation. They offer up stock, those little shares of ownership, as a way to raise money from all those investors. And that's the cash they use to fund research, open new stores, and, grow. So how do investors in companies actually get connected? I mean, you can't just walk up to Wall Street and shout, "I want to buy some stock," right? You need a broker. You can think of them as the essential go-between. They're the licensed firm that takes your buy or sell order and connects it directly to the market. And finally, every game needs a referee. In the stock market, that's the regulator. In the United States, the big one is the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. Their job is basically to watch over the whole system, enforce the rules, and make sure everything is fair to protect investors like you and me. They're the ones who help maintain trust in the whole system. Okay, this is where it all comes together. We've seen the arena and we've met the players. Now let's connect the dots and see how they all interact when a single trade is made. It all happens in the blink of an eye. But there's a whole journey behind every single trade. It starts with you, the investor. You decide to buy some shares and you place an order through your brokerage app or website. Instantly, your broker gets that order and sends it to the right stock exchange. The exchange's super fast computers then hunt for a matching sell order from someone else. The second a match is found at a price you both agree on, boom, the trade is executed. It's this beautiful, high-speed dance between technology and money. So, we've covered a lot of ground on this little tour. What's the big takeaway here? Well, it's all about figuring out where you fit into this whole picture. And here's the key, the most important part of all of this. If you have a retirement account or you've ever used a trading app, you're not just some outsider looking in. You are an investor. You are one of those key market participants we just talked about. This entire massive, complex ecosystem exists to connect your money with companies that need it to innovate and grow. And that's where we'll wrap up our tour for today. We've seen the arena, we've met the players, but knowing the layout of the field is really just the beginning. The next, and maybe more important question is this: how do you actually play the game? Well, understanding the strategies, the analysis, the risks, that's a journey for another day.